All right, Homecoming came in showing out, and showing out it did. And I don't know how I'm gonna make this video in a reasonable time limit because I have a lot to say. So let's not wait and get right into it. What up, everybody? It's your boy K-Ray06 here on K-RayTV, back with another All-American episode recap review. As per usual, we're going to talk about the show. We're going to go through each scene, highlighting my thoughts of the characters, the story, the plot, etc. And then we're going to wrap it up tightly by giving y'all the good, the bad, and the downright disrespectfulness of it all. As always, if you like the channel, then go ahead and hit that like button as it really helps. And if you're new here, and you like what you see and you want to join the best squad on the net as we are on our way to that 10K, then show some love by hitting that sub, click that noti bell, hit all, so you know every time I upload something and you don't miss out. And lastly, share like you care. Again, I appreciate it all. And now, let's get into the review. Episode 17 is the pilot episode for the new spinoff in the All-American universe titled Homecoming. As it starts off in ATL, place I know very well. It's a party, y'all. They are not playing for Brinkston's homecoming. And the gang of Simone, Jordan, Spencer, and Olivia take note of that as they throw out there that, Princeton probably ain't getting down like this. You know what I'm saying? They ain't cooking up like this. Because remember, Simone got denied from Princeton, so she is stuck in this limbo state at the moment where she doesn't know where she wants to go, and she wants to take her mind off everything and enjoy the weekend, and have what Jordan randomly threw out there, GAF, a grown as fun. So that's the goal. And as they continue walking, the title logo comes on the screen, and we are now into the spin-off pilot episode. Next scene, we get to see two new characters. Amara, which is Simone's aunt, who is teaching a lecture on journalist objectivity. And Keisha, our other character, who seems to know her way around campus as she is very outspoken, passionate, and someone who comes off as a person who's involved with a lot of people and a lot of events around the university. Simone goes up and hugs her aunt, and everyone is introduced. And when Simone asks her aunt what she had going on, they spring a little nugget here. Simone stated her aunt is just never just teaching. She always got something brewing up in the noggin a little bit, like writing a story or something. And that right there was like the biggest plot point of the episode. This is going to be what puts everything and everyone in place for the official season premiere in 2022. But we'll talk about that later. Keisha, who is chosen to be the ambassador for the group, says, her aunt had the right idea. Let's have fun and don't ask twice about it. Let's go. So we quickly get a rundown in the next scene of Keisha's accolades as they walk through the campus, as she is a pre-med, but she's also captain of the dance squad. And she taught the dance for the fashion show scene that we're going to see later on in the episode, She gets on Simone about timing, saying she needs to apply to schools because her time is running out. And I agree that someone said that because they just let her walk around all willy-nilly, not getting her stuff together. How did you only apply to one school thinking that was a sure in? You have to do better. You have to. But the best part of this scene is when Keisha asks about Jordan and Spencer. She wanted the tea on the two sexies back there. And Simone lets her know one of them is her husband. But the other one is Liv's guy. And her guy. But then Liv opened her mouth. Yes, mouth with the F. And says something dumb. Again, she is all about this friend title. And because of that, Keisha was gave me in and said, skirt, and pulled right up on them, you know what I'm saying? And they cupped their arms. And I was like, yeah, I'm hungry. And I was like, hey, go ahead, Keisha, get down there. Then the Wobble song came on. And that song or Candy has to be played at every black function. It is a must. It's a must. So when it came on, I was like, okay, go ahead. Then Keisha was giving me vibes, y'all. And she tried to get Simone to come dance. She was like, yeah, just come and enjoy. But Simone's been a stick in the mud, so Liv ended up going out there without her. I mean, going out there with her, and I was like, go ahead. I like what's going on here. I like what's going on here. I'm like, go ahead, turn up. And speaking of which, like, what happened to turning up, Simone? Because, you know, right now your volume is on mute. It's like, it's all the way down. Like, I'm going to need you to get it together. But because of her not dancing, they used that scene to introduce the other star of the spinoff, Mr. Peyton himself, as he stands there looking around, and he noticed Simone recording, which he thought she was recording him. But he was trying to stay incognito, so he didn't want to be on camera. So he snatches her phone and deletes the video. And this pisses Simone off, as she was recording Liv and Keisha dancing and didn't even know who he was. This amused Damon, which I believe this is the first time he was treated normally and not like a superstar. But that pissed off Simone, because she like, why are you being amused by this? Are you trying to be cute? You trying to be funny? So she was like, yo, it'd be embarrassing if you get handed to you, you know what I'm saying? Consider her being a woman. And I'm like, Simone ain't playing. There go that attitude. Then Jordan and Spencer come in for the save, and Damon walks off with his friend. And Spencer gives a look like, this guy look familiar. Then we hop over to the next scene. We get Damon and his friend, which I do not know his name. Like, if y'all know his name, let me know, because no disrespect, you just gonna be titled the friend in there. I know actor Sylvester, but I don't know your character name as of yet. But they were over there watching the team practice, the baseball team practice, and this is where we're officially giving the accolades of Damon, as Spencer pulls up a picture of him on the phone, as he did recognize him. And this is used to let us know, the audience, that Damon Sims is the #1 recruit, and he has like a pretty much sure way in to go straight from high school to the major leagues, the MLB. But Spencer wasn't the only one who caught wind of who he was, as the baseball team noticed him up there as well on the bleachers. I mean, it wasn't like he was hiding. He was basically in plain sight. Like, he had the hoodie down, he had the shade, sun hitting him. You know what I'm saying? You like, come on. You knew he was going to get caught. So he got noticed by Spencer and the team as well, and they called him out about it. Then we jump over to the girls, Keisha, Simone, and Olivia. And Keisha is showing Simone the tennis area. And we get introduced to another cast member, good old Thea, as she is Queen Bey around Brent's campus for her tennis prowess, because she went through like the junior circuit playing tennis, and she's also like the champion, and she takes her craft very seriously. And her parents are major donors there at the campus, because they want nothing but the best with their child. So you can already see that they're like grooming her to be this over-the-top serious player when it comes to her craft of tennis. And she don't take no crap. And I'm hoping they don't go the typical route of, you know, the stuck-up type of girl, but we'll see, because, you know, this is our first introduction. So, but because she takes her craft so seriously, she is bothered by the onlookers, and she wants them to bounce. And she's like, y'all done distracting me, you know, let me go. But Simone said, let's do the opposite and run out there like a little fangirl. She's like, and Thea was like, I said, bouncing, you got closer. Like, come on. But Thea ends up noticing her bracelet, the tennis racket on there. And because of that, she's like, yo, can you play? Or do you play? And Simone said, yeah, she came up through the junior circuit just like her, which, you know, rubbed Thea the wrong way, because she's like, oh, like me, huh? And because of that, she was like, well, let's test that statement. Let's go ahead and play. Like, right now. Like, time now. Like, maybe you can warm me up. And I was like, yeah, well, at least she's not, you know, short on confidence. Her supply is full. And then here we get our two sports on the show. Two displays of our sports on the show. Damon with baseball, Simone with tennis. This is where the show basically displays how these games are going to go down, because over at the baseball field, the team is pressuring Sims into showing him his skills, like how fast he can throw them pitch. And even his friend, quote unquote, was like trying to get him to do like, come on, just throw a couple passes. And I'm like, yo, he not even here for that. Like, you should be like, nah, he not here for that. He trying to stay incognito. How is that a friend? Like, I'm already getting vibes about him. And then Damon, even being there in the open and whatnot, he can say no, but he, you know, was like, all right, let's do it. So we get to see them play some sports, and you can tell Simone is rusty. Simone is rusty because Thea is blasting balls right past her, and don't be that guy. Don't be that ball. Don't be that guy. But she is like, I'm telling you, hitting blasts and tennis ball right past her with every hit. Bah, bah, bah. And the same with Damon as he's throwing bombs into the catcher's mid. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And as he's doing that, someone on the side clearly like recorded him and I'm like, see, you put yourself in a situation. But I would say that Simone did get one good one on Thea, and Santiago, that's the Hispanic guy who was basically getting on Damon about saving his arm. He actually got one on Damon as well. He actually was able to hit the ball. He didn't get like home run or nothing, but he knocked it out and was able to make it to first base. But Damon quickly got him out of there on the next play as he threw it to his friend. His friend hit it, he caught it, and he threw it immediately to the person on first base, and he got him out of there to let him know, like, yeah, I'm that good. And I was with it because sometimes you got to stunt. Sometimes you got to put them in the place, let them know you big dog. Because of that, the team celebrates with Damon and everything. They all happy, but then the coach pulls up, and he like, yeah, nah, what is this? This ain't practice. Go hit them laps. Celebrate that. And Coach Marcus, who was played by Corey Hardrick, is not a fan of Damon at all. Like using his practices to show off. And he let him know this. And he also get in his neck about Sim skipping games to save his arm as his team needs him. And then question his very reason for playing at all. And before this carried on even further, Leonard Shaw, the head coach, shows up. Now, for some of y'all may recognize him from the show Smart Guy. He was actually the dad on there, and that used to be my show. So I was like, that was dope. I ain't seen that guy in a long time. So I'm like, okay, you trying to pull out the stop with all this cash. Go ahead. But he comes in and praises Damon, which is the opposite of Marcus. And then he also tells the team, or tells Marcus that the team looks warm up, so he wants them to stop running. And you can tell that this already has this type of feel that they don't see eye to eye with each other, and they're definitely going to butt heads because they have two different coaching styles. Next, we hop over to a small dinner with the gang and Amara, and Amara wants Simone to actually give Brinson some real thought as she's there. Because she sees it as a great opportunity for not just her, but for everyone, Jordan, Spencer, and Olivia. So Spencer takes the bait and says, why is the school so special? And I like what Amara said. She said, because it really connects us to our history. Then Liv mentions Brinson having a great tennis program, and her aunt tells Simone that she shouldn't put all her eggs into the athletic basket, which is another nugget to the plot point I mentioned earlier. And we will touch on that eventually, but we're going to continue on for now. Amara gets a call about a fashion emergency, and then they take off to the show to see what's up. Once they get there, they learn that one of the girls' face is very red, like she'd been slap boxing with a beehive. And because of this, she could not go on. So Amara suggests Simone replace her, and then Simone is like, nah, how about Liv, since she's an active dancer? And Amara's like, well, how about both of y'all? Y'all got an hour to learn the routine, learn the formations, get fitted for clothing, get hair and makeup done, etc. You got an hour. You can get it done. Now, if you watch the show on the app or live on TV, you will notice a few differences in the episode. Like some of the scenes was cut out of the live version, but made the official version. Like if you wonder if you're seeing different clips online, that is why. Now, as Damon and his boy enters the fashion show or enter the auditorium, this fashion show starts, and I was here for it. And when the lights came on, and I seen Liv in the lingerie, popping them hips with them braids, I said, oh, you trying to become wifey, huh? Okay. And then Simone followed up with lingerie with the thighs out and braids, and Damon, Jordan, and myself was eyeballing her down. And here's where the scene differs. As Jordan makes a mark about Simone, and Spencer agrees about Liv, but this was taken out of the show, only to be replaced with Damon eyeballing down his future girl. And I was like, boy, y'all did Jordan wrong for that. wrong for that. Y'all could have left that scene in. I don't even know why they took it out. And I forgot to mention that Nathaniel is the other new castmate, as he is the one that's in charge of the fashion show. So my bad. And he, like us, said exactly what we thought. They gave sexy. Like, out there on that stage. And I was like, yeah, I am here for it. Oh, and encore. And as they leave to get out of their dresses, Simone trails behind them, and we get the teaser scene here with Damon and Simone, which I used in a promo video. If you ain't seen it, go check it out. And Damon takes her hand and helps her up and tries to apologize, but Simone wasn't hearing anything unless it was "I'm sorry," which was rightfully owed. And Damon asks for a do-over and to introduce himself as Damon Sims. And Simone does as well, and thus we get the birth of Simone Hicks. That was when that was born. They was definitely feeling each other. Like, you can't deny it. It was something there. The chemistry was bubbling there. But Jordan interrupts again, telling him, back off the girl. But Damon lets Jordan know that he's no disrespect for now, because we know what's brewing. Before his friend interrupts him and tells Damon to check his phone, as his cover has been blown and a recording from earlier has been sold to the highest bidder, and now a story about him is on every major news feed. Next scene, we get the introduction of Damon's mom, and here we learn a lot about why he is the way he is. She is disappointed, as in Damon, he lied saying that he was going camping, not to a camp up. But now there's stories about him that can blow his chances for playing in the MLB. And he could have potentially hurt his arm by, throwing passes with the team earlier. And all that is a no-go in her eyes. And she thinks it's for no reason. She's like, why is you even out there? She immediately wants to get ahead of the story and spin the narrative to create more hype around his name. And kind of like create a bidding war, because, if it makes it seem like he want to play for college, the MLB want to snatch him up even more. And Damon doesn't want to do this, as he is the one that has to face and do it all by himself. Like, he has to play. He has the one that has to sit out the game. He's the one that get talked about and get looked at differently. Like, even though she's saying we, it's always him that actually has to go through the trial. But his mom is not hearing it, or is that like what she comes off like, or what it seems like, because she believes that everything she's doing it for him, and that she gave up her career for him to have a chance to have one. And one day he will thank her. And then she sends him away to get dressed. And for like a slight second there, you can kind of see like a little bit of remorse on her face as he leaves. And this makes me think, like, what was her life before him? Next scene, we get Mara, who was sitting there putting together an article or a story. And as Spencer drops by looking for Liv and Simone, and he noticed that she's working the stories, and he sees that it's an athletic scandal story, which is the axis that stirs this whole pilot episode. Spencer gives her this envelope that was taped to her door, and when she opened it, she immediately gets on the phone to call someone. But we're going to, again, put a pin in that, because we're going to talk about it later, all right? Next scene, we get Simone and Liv, and this scene was kind of amusing because Simone is starting to embrace the school, which it feels like it happened so quick, as we are not shown her, going from not wanting to be there to, going through the motions or going through each levels of embracing it. It's just beginning and end. That's all we see. Simone wonders why people like T. Morrison is not in Beverly Hills and why it's not a required reading. And again, I like the conversation. However, it was another one of those moments for me where the writer was like, I want to make a statement here instead of being natural. Like, maybe it's just me, but that's just how it came out. Plus, I'm like, y'all in Beverly, come on, no offense. You know that wasn't going to be in them books. Stop it. Simone then gets a text from Keisha saying that she's with Jordan and Spencer already, and Liv felt some way about it. And Simone had to let her know, like, hey, if you ain't going to go after what you want, then you can't be mad if someone else does. And then Liv said something dumb, saying, like, it looks like you need to take your own advice, alluding to Simone not applying for Princeton. However, that's a drastic difference in that situation, because Simone is not mad at anything. Simone is not mad that someone went to Princeton and implied that she missed out. She ain't mad at that. She is in a stage where, you know, the school she wanted to go to rejected her, and now she's in a limbo stage, and she's starting to like this school, but this school was never in her plans. So now it's that fear of the unknown, the hesitancy. So that's what she is. She's still trying to weigh everything. But unlike Liv, she constantly, you know, says Spencer is her friend. He's saying he's just a friend. You know what I'm saying? So it's no comparison there. And then the girl walk off like she dropped a mic there or something. Like, girl, like, you better get a clue, a valid hint or something before somebody else take your man. And then we go another 2 seasons with you watching and pining for him when you can clearly have him. Clearly. But I digress. We jump over to Doc Allen's office, and this is where we find out that the head baseball coach has been running a scandal by putting the players in paper classes to get them or keep them eligible to play. So these are waitlist classes not taught by anybody. They're just like placeholders. And I didn't notice that the Doc Allen was Lenore Roberts from Drumline. Like, I was like, okay, NK, you gonna stack this show with all these actors, okay? She's like, this probably gonna succeed, damn it. But anyway, due to this reveal, the scandal, the head coach is fired and the whole coaching staff is just broomed away. Like, the department is wiped clean, which throws out the leverage that Damon mom thought she had to spin the story to his benefit. And Damon is over the whole thing. Like, he wants to come to this college, get a taste of what a regular person feels like. And he's like, I'm over here just thinking in my head, messing it up again. So he over it. Then we jump over to a college party. Good old college party. And Keisha did not waste no time. Like, as soon as Spencer then walked in, she quickly grabbed Spencer and brought him over to grab some punch. And Liv says no to the drinks because, you know, she is sober. And then Keisha replies to her by looking at her and saying, good for you, girl. And then proceeds to give everybody a cup and they all toast. Now, I know what y'all expecting here. I know what y'all thinking here. But I would usually take time to talk about, you know, about them just easily drinking around Liv. Spencer not saying nothing like, you know, we're not drinking tonight like he usually always does when he's around Liv, or anything else that concerns Liv and her sobriety. However, I'm not, because this season has shown me that when it comes to her sobriety, they do not care to give it the time it deserves. 1 minute she be hot and then the next minute she be cold. So, hey, just like that, I'm moving past it. Hell, let me drink a toast to that. Hold on. Yeah. Now that we done moved past that, we actually get some good old house party type vibe. We get some good old bumping and grinding from Keisha and Spencer. Yes, not Spencer and Liv, Keisha and Spencer. And then we get some fraternity stepping and whatnot. We get Liv being Liv. And then we got Simone being a party pooper yet again. Sitting outside by herself, which gives Damon another reason to approach her, you know, with the Simone Hicks. As he is making that not just a thing, but their thing. And he also touches her arm yet again as he notices her bracelet and he inquires about it. She then asks him about baseball and the scandal and if it affected him. All the while, Jordan up in the party over there doing a running man while his soon-to-be ex-wifey and ex-girlfriend is building rapport with another man. Shake my head. Spencer runs up to grab Liv to dance, you know, since she wasn't going to bust a grape in a fruit fight. And here is another scene where it is not in the TV version. As Nathaniel informs Jordan that Keisha doesn't really like Spencer, she only flirted with him to get her ex-boyfriend jealous. That's like her little thing. Like, she flirt with somebody, get him jealous, and then they go do their little makeup thing or whatever. And it works every time. And we can actually see them kissing off to the side. This was cut out of the live version. This was not in the TV version. So I don't know why they made these cuts out of the two versions. But if y'all know, let me know in the comments below. Now, during Spencer and Olivia's dance, I know all the Spelivia fan out there got what they wanted and needed. Like, Olivia finally, like, gave my man Spencer a real kiss. Unlike that Judas kiss she gave before at the baker's house, she tongued him down this time. And I was like, about time, man. Now, if you was like this way back yonder, like Layla wouldn't have stood a chance before. And by like this, I mean like taking charge, not tonguing him down right away. Cut it out. But I was happy for Liv. I was like, finally, yes, we love to see it. First, we got lingerie, thigh meat, and booty cheeks. But now we get a real moment between the two. Like, we ain't got to talk about nothing right now. We ain't got to do nothing. We both feel each other. We both dancing and grinding. Let's just have a little fun. Have a little fun. We'll deal with all that stuff later. And I was behind that 100%. Even though Spencer had to be the one to grab her to come on the dance floor. But I digress. We ain't gonna ruin the moment. Also, y'all are very funny. Like, some of the messages I was getting during the episode from y'all was hilarious. Especially the play-by-plays. Like, I just want to say thank y'all for that, because I did appreciate that. Now, Simone walks in after her outside rendezvous and notices Liv is going after what she wants and knows in her heart that she must do the same. Next scene, we find out that Coach Marcus is the one that dropped the tip on the scandal at the university about the head coach. And even though he lost his job, it was worth it to him to give the team a fighting chance under an honest program. And then he asked Damon, as he was saying his goodbye to the fields, with that old dusty hair he got, to remember integrity when he makes it to the pros. And again, all of this is just said to push Damon, as his heart is wavering as well as to, what he wants for himself, just like Simone. They are on similar journey, just, taking different routes to get there. Next scene, we get Simone practicing tennis, and Thea walks up saying that, she might have underestimated her, but, all that skill doesn't matter if you can't play like that at game time. And Simone was like, I'm kind of hoping for some privacy. And Thea was like, on my court? And this scene was cut a little bit because on the TV version, Thea goes on to, start talking about more Simone. But on the online version, she says a little more slicker line saying, like, not on my court, and you a visitor here. But that was cut out. But then Thea grills her afterwards saying, like, this is not just a physical sport, but it's a mental sport. So Simone shouldn't be easily getting rattled. And then Simone with the slick mouth was like, she don't know me, you don't know me, and I ain't a quitter. And Thea was like, okay, whatever. But then Thea goes and actually start offering her advice, not for her, but for the game. And she says, she's not helping Simone per se. She's helping the sports that she loves. And then she gives a speech. And again, it was another moment for me where I felt like the writers were trying to make a point. They were trying to make a statement. And again, that word excellence was used again. That should have been the title of the episode, because y'all were just throwing around everywhere. And like I said, like, I'm here for the message, but it just comes very unnatural. Like, I felt like if Thea would have just looked directly in the camera, like it would have came off better as she was talking directly to us and she's breaking the fourth wall rather than trying to be discreet without being discreet, Anywho, I do like that she's not a typical mean girl, so I do hope that they flesh out her character, because, I do hope to see them Thea. I do hope to see Thea again. We jump over to a quick scene with Simone and Amara let her know that it's not too late to apply to Princeton, and Simone, brings up someone she ain't talked about in a long time, her baby. Yeah, remember she had one? But she was saying, like, she doesn't know about moving away and being away from her son and the family and whatnot, but her aunt was like, if you would have got into Princeton, then what? It would have been the same situation, and you would have figured it out. So Simone is basically making excuses right now because she's still in that old fear of the unknown right now. So that's what's happening. Then the next scene, we got Spencer and Damon, and I like this. They talked about the protests that Spencer did, about carrying the weight on their shoulders and all that good stuff. And Spencer, since he got tongued down by Liv in a few scenes earlier, he came back all chipper, giving advice and everything. But the main takeaway from this is actually Damon's backstory. Like, he tells Spencer that his mom saved his life. She adopted him, raised him, and she's trying to do her very best by him. So even though the MLB is his mom's dream, he feels like he owes that to her for rescuing him. And another tidbit, his birth parents are from ATL and they went to that same university. So he actually went there to try to feel a connection to his parents that he doesn't know. And maybe, he would go look for his parents and whatnot. And I like this, and I like this. And Jordan is in real trouble because this is gonna tie him and Simone together real tight. Remember, Simone gave up her baby for adoption. Remember? And Damon was given up for adoption. However, Simone remained in her baby's life. We just ain't seen it. And he, I think he subconsciously wants to find his parent and will try to find his parent. I feel like they will connect because of that. Like the parallel between the two are so huge. And Jordan does not match up, sad to say, but he does not. So I like this scene. I was like, I can do more of this, but Jordan ain't gonna like it. Next scene, we get to see Simone going to the athletic department as she's ready to apply. And same as Damon as he walks into Drumline, that's his name, to give him some news, which translated to a press conference where Damon announces that he will play for Bringston and enroll there as he gives a Spencer James-like speech saying that he will not compete in the 2021 MLB draft. He wants his legacy based on integrity and making a difference, and that will start there, with Coach Marcus as head coach. His mom seemed very disappointed by it, but I see her turning over a new leaf at some point, maybe end of season 1, season 2 or something. Next scene, we get Damon and his friend discussing Damon and Roland, and I get the sense that Damon is not really a friend. Like, he knew that he was there not to be on cameras and whatnot, but he was making suggestions for him to pitch. And then when he enrolled, the first thing he said to him was, I guess Bringston found his star. And I'm like, yo, he did mention earlier that he doesn't get play. He rides the bench. So now with Damon being there, he might just ride the bench forever. So I already see where this is going with those two. But as he walks away, Simone walks up and congratulates him. And they have this stare with each other and stare at each other, and y'all can feel the vibes. Like, hell, Simone can feel the vibes because she immediately threw up the husband card to, distance herself from that feeling. So, don't get me wrong. I know people saying, yeah, she cleaned her hubby, but that was more of a defense mechanism than the claim. And before walking off, Damon asked, did she find her mojo? And she says, yeah, something like that. Copying what he said earlier. And then he tells her to take care of herself, Simone Hicks. And I was like, boy, all them Jamone lovers out there is dying inside right now because y'all felt that chemistry. Y'all felt it. And Jordan is not outputting that type of energy. That boy, time is running out as the sand in the hourglass has now begun to fall. Jordan, time is short. Jordan remarks that Simone looks happy as he opens the door to let her inside the car, and she says she is. And Jordan gives a look as now he knows that his envisioned life he had for them is now in jeopardy, and then the show ends there. Whew, it was a fast-paced episode, but because it was so fun, I enjoyed it. It had little tiny problems here and there, but overall it was a great showing. So with that said, let's get into the good, the bad, and the downright disrespectful. The good, the episode. It really felt like it was an episode on its own. No drama, just teen stuff, real teen stuff. College application, parties, kisses, new people, new faces, everything. And I believe Simone had a better showing here than she did in All American. It showed more of her and it separated her from Jordan, allowing us to see her for her and not her as Jamone. Which I don't like that name anyway. It sounds like a Michael Jackson thing, like Jamone. But I love that. Also, the cast was pretty dope. I love the aunt. I love Keisha's vibes. And of course, the fashion show, the kids, those two had to make the list. As we finally got to see Liv dance, and then we got a real kiss from her this time. It was good. It was all dope. And it made my good list. The bad. Coach Marcus's hairstyle. That needs to go. Them old traced outlines, sideburns, and that confetti paper top that he had on his head, it is not working. Throw that whole thing out and try again. They had him looking mad old. And I was not here for it. No. At all. Now, the downright disrespectful. The episode preview. Yes, I was all happy for the light episode, and then y'all straight came and slapped me in the mouth with this whole straight out of Crenshaw preview. Like, we going back to the drama, y'all. Back to the depressed colors and to the storyline. A storyline that I forgot all about. Like, I hope next episode isn't a whole episode of Spencer talking about you coming from my family and my community, because truth is, the only thing he coming for is Miss Grace's draws and maybe some peach cobbler. So, there's that. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed this episode recap. Let me know your favorite moments of the episode, your list, and who or what is on it. And I'll see you in the next one, all right? Also, if you haven't seen the live episode 15 reaction, go check it out. It is hilarious. You're going to have a good time, I promise you. And we got episode 16 and 17 on their way. The editor has it. He's working his magic. Hopefully, I'll have them to you this week. Until then, y'all have a great day. Like, comment, subscribe, and share, and we out. Peace.